Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Cup of Joe. It's not a Thursday without it, so I'm so glad to have all of y'all here. And today we have a very special guest, Amy McKenna, who does a little bit of everything. She is a senior comm major here at Clemson University. She is a sports director and anchor for Tiger Vision, which is a student-run television show. She is not only the president of Association for Women in Sports, but she is the founder of the chapter here at Clemson, and she is a contributor to the Tiger Tailgate show that happens every single home game and is aired on 105.5 The Roar. How are you doing today?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Glad to have you here. Now, we are just 2 days away from what could be considered one of Clemson's toughest matchups against Texas A&M this Saturday, and tensions are already high after last year's two-point thriller. Jared Hawker, their offensive lineman, said that he is expecting an upset this Saturday. Now, Amy, this is where you come in. When you hear comments like that, not as a Clemson student even, or someone that covers Clemson football, but what are your thoughts when you hear someone say something like that?
So I understand that he's coming from their perspective. They have to think that way. They need to motivate themselves so that they can, do their best in the game. And it's kind of become a rivalry with Jimbo and Dabo. It's the battle of the bows, I like to say. And I understand that it was tough last year, but I just really don't see it happening. I understand, like I said, that he thinks that could happen, but the rest of us just don't really see it. I think even ESPN's power index gives them a 12% chance of winning the game. So good for him. He can, say that if he wants, but I don't see it happening.
Now, Kayvon Wallace, Clemson safety, was also asked about this, and here is his comments on it.
No comment. All we can do is focus on what we control, and that's performing well. That's all we can do.
Last year against Texas A&M, Wallace had a career high of 7 tackles, and he also was the one that intercepted that two-point conversion that could have tied the game for the Aggies, but as we all know, didn't, and Clemson ended up winning. But he also has to claim 3 dropped interceptions that could have kept the game from being close. So my question to you is, because Clemson cannot make those mistakes this year, what are they going to have to do as a defense, as a whole, keep Kellen Mond, their quarterback, under control?
Yeah, I think Mond really is a threat. He had averaged 7 yards per attempt last game and went 19 for 27 for almost 200 yards. So he had a great game last game. And Clemson's defense really did surprise me. We didn't know how they were going to do. It's a lot of new players, but they really did surprise me. They played pretty well last game. But I think we do have to keep an eye on some of A&M's offensive weapons other than Kellen. He's really good too. But Courtney Davis and Kendrick Rogers they are big threats that we have to pay attention to. So we got to keep our eyes on them. But also they run the ball a lot. And they play that pro style of running offense where they just go straight up the middle. And so we really have to pay attention to that.
Yeah, there's so many different pieces with them. They're not, they have so many dynamics with their offense. And so that's going to be a real big struggle, I think, this week for Clemson.
I'm sure they've done their research and they watched the film. And
oh, yeah.
The defense is prepared. If I know Venables at all, he's prepared.
Venables prepared? What you talking about? And, it helps, that this is not a brand new Aggie team. Where last year, Clemson hadn't seen Texas A&M in a very long time.
That's true.
And so having that experience from last year, even though if it was away, it even helps, this year because they're going to be home.
Right.
And they have, Death Valley and all the fans to...
They'll be there.
Oh, yeah, they'll be there. Have you seen how much tickets are selling for? It's $200.
Wow.
Well, Nolan Turner also had his thoughts on this offense, and to quote him, said that Kellen Mond is one of the best quarterbacks in the SEC.
For sure, you got to be super disciplined, with this offense. He's, probably one of the best quarterbacks in the SEC. With a great group of receivers and running backs around him, so, eyes is everything, especially when you're playing defense, just being disciplined. And so, he can make all the throws, and, they got a bunch of guys to help him out. So, eyes is going to be big this week.
And don't forget that this Saturday is IPTAY Saturday, and a little fact, IPTAY is actually the oldest and most successful athletic fundraising organization in America. So for a very long time, Clemson has been really good at supporting our student athletes.
Yeah, IPTAY is a really great organization. It's amazing for the student athletes. They get to have the best equipment and really cool opportunities. And, it's a great way for current students to be connected with alumni. And we're a pretty generous bunch, I would say, so that's good.
Oh, yeah, especially when handing out L's.
Oh!
It's like, Oprah.
Oh, yeah, you're gonna know.
Also, CJ Spiller was just named to be on IPTA's board.
Well, that's very cool.
Yeah,
good for him.
Well, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Joanne Bethay with the Clemson Insider, and keep up with us as we have full coverage of the 2019 Clemson football season.